I'm now speaking with Sensei Dwight Laster. Sensei, when I saw you the other day, a lot of memories came back from years ago that I've been wanting to talk to you about for about, I guess, 30 years now.
Yes, yes.
You're mostly known as being associated with the so-called Black Jessies.
Right.
Now, what year was this, and how did all that come about?
I think that was around 1979. And the Fort Wayne newspaper said they was getting some letters from a certain group threatening them. And the group was called the Black Jessies. And so the Fort Wayne Police Department latched on to us because they said it had to be us because we were the only family that would appear to be to themselves, and it was close knitted. And then it says they told we had a whole lot of cars, and the house was big, and we lived in a compound. So it said it had to be a family who could be secretive and not expose themselves to anyone. But that we were told.
But during this time period, well, almost forever now,
Right,
since the inception of America, it didn't take much for blacks to become labeled as militants and things like that.
Right.
And especially in the 60s and 70s, you got called a militant real quick.
Right.
And when that term still has a militant tinge to it, but from what I understand, you all weren't militant at all.
No. We had definite opinions, but many times if you express yourself, you are labeled that a militant. See, and that's what it was. Like when Vernon Jordan had got shot, we protested because the white woman who was allegedly with him, they never questioned her. They took her and hid her out. So we got in front of me and said, bring her out and question her and see what she knows. So all of a sudden, they were mad at us for speaking out about that.
When did tell me about your family? What I don't really know that much about it, but when a family comes together anymore, that's a good thing.
Right. But in their eyes, it was kind of a bad thing because the black folks, they figured black folks aren't supposed to do that. They're supposed to be nitpicking, arguing, and fussing and carrying on. But what happened was, the Hatches, we're double first cousins. Two brothers married two sisters in two different families, so that made us double first cousins. Their house had burned down when we all were very young. We was on Hayden Street, and my father asked my mother could he have his first cousin move it up. Mom said sure. So when everybody moved in together, Daddy said each 3 years we gonna add on to the house. He said to give everybody his room. He said because boys gonna be growing. He said and they might want their own space. So he said we gonna add on to the house. So that's what we did. About every 3 years he would add on to it. So that's how he did it.
Because I've always wondered how that house, it's such a large house from the outside.
Yes. It's 24 rooms.
24 rooms.
24 rooms, especially in a dojo, a karate school, and at the first level.
All right, 24 rooms. At its peak, how many brothers and sisters, or how many total were living there at one time?
Okay, at total it was 14 people. 14. It was 11 kids and 3 adults. 3 adults.
All right, so now this is in the early 80s, you said.
Right.
And how did things start to escalate? I know the police were accusing you of being militants and starting trouble around here. What was the problem then? Was just, again, the fact that you all were together, or what was the genesis of the issues?
And that was the main issue, that we were together. And the other issues were, they couldn't figure out how could a family live in that situation and was they said there's no criminal activity. They assumed that we were selling drugs. They assumed we was out there robbing somebody, beating somebody, but all of us had jobs. Several of my brothers worked at a harvester. Then we had the radio station. We had a radio station on Pontiac Street. And then me and my other brother, we worked in and 3 office buildings downtown, clean office buildings. See, and my father was a carpenter and a mason. He did masonry guy.
So now, now at what point did the martial arts start to weave in, and how did that change things?
Okay, the martial arts, how that weaved in, I was 13 years old. I went to Mr. Williams, and I saw a poster, and it said join win some lessons. So I asked my mom. She said, boy, you ain't gonna win that. I said, Mom, let me try. She said, go ahead. So I signed my name. 2 days later, the guy called me. He said he wanted to talk to me. I went down there. The guy said, you won a trial week. And I went through that week. And Daddy said, if you're going to go, your brother and sister have to go too. So my brother Robert and my sister Geraldine came along with classes with me. Then they came along classes with me. Then we stayed there almost 4 years. And then after that, we left. Then I started teaching my cousins, which is the Hatchet now. So when I started teaching them, then everybody said, now, why is this family so connected? Why are they so tight? How come they ain't pulling apart like everybody else? I said, because a family is the basics, of everybody's distance. Your family can get along. And that's what you want your family to get along. But they didn't realize they didn't want that. They wanted some kind of confusion or some kind of argument. But we didn't have it.
So what is about the spiritual aspect or the intellectual aspect about martial arts that helped form your family bond?
It is mind, body, and spirit. And that was spirit. That's the aspect of martial arts. There's a creed that the martial arts will say is you avoid rather than check, you check rather than hurt, you hurt rather than maim rather than kill, you kill rather than to be killed. And all that together made us determined to be what we are. We was determined to say we're going to stand up, and if we have to speak out, we're going to put ourselves out there and speak out. A lot of people would ask us, ain't you scared? Don't the police harass you? I said, yeah. I've been arrested twice for some silliness. I looked like a suspect. And I asked the cop one day, I said, all black men must be twins. Because I get tired every time y'all stop me and I'm looking like somebody. I was stopped a week ago up there on Coliseum Boulevard. 6 squad cars rolled up on me and hemmed me in the dark. They always get you hemmed in the dark. So they ain't go on, can't nobody see. I asked them what's going on. They said, I look like a robbery suspect.
And did they arrest you or what happened?
No, they said, can we frisk me? I said, go ahead. So I had my pack right here. So he looked in the pack and said that he ain't got nothing. Then the other guy said this. He said, he told the other cop, he said, the report didn't say it was a black guy, it said it was a white guy and a Mexican. And I told him, I said, I'm far from either one. The other cop said, no, I said a black guy. I said, it didn't say a black guy. I said a white guy and a Mexican. But I've been stopped over 4 times, almost 4 times this year for the same thing. I was stopped up there by Paul Hardin High School by 4 county cops. It's either the county or the city.
Why?
They say I'm suspicious. Always I'm suspicious.
But you don't think anywhere white or Mexican?
No, I know. That's what I told them. I'm not white or Mexican. I said, I don't even look close to that. But they say I'm suspicious.
But for a long time, it's kind of been understood here in Fort Wayne that a lot of blacks felt that anytime you do speak out or you're vocal in some kind of way, something's going to happen to you, harassment or something like that.
Yes.
Is that theory or is that pretty much factual?
Yeah, that's factual. That's factual. It's called running the gauntlet. That's what it's called. It's called running the gauntlet. If you speak out, like one time I filed a complaint against this one cop named Bradley Madison. He dead now. He got hit over here on State Street. I filed a complaint against him. And right time I filed that complaint, every other cop knew about that complaint I filed against him. And I would get stopped maybe about every other week by a cop. And then one cop would even say, that's the guy shooting Bradley Madison.
That's almost like in a retaliation.
Yeah, that's what it is. That is retaliation. That's to put some fear into you. They say, if he can't get you, we're gonna get you. We're gonna corner you off, or we're gonna say, something. He made a threatening move, or we saw something shining. He threatened us. He took a defensive posture. That's the main thing they always say. Took a defensive posture. That gives them the chance to beat you down, give you a beat down.
But they're still saying that today.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they do that today. Because the reason why they do that today, the system allows them to do that. See, as the system says, a cop's word carries more weight than yours. Even though we go to trial, it says everybody's word is equal, but it's not. A cop word carries more weight than yours. And no matter if you have a videotape, they will find something in that videotape which says that cop word carries more word than yours, more weight.
But so is there a connection there then, with so many blacks anymore being afraid to stand up and say it's raining today?
Right.
I mean, they won't stand up and in fact say anything.
No, they won't say nothing. They won't say nothing.
That almost has its roots back in slavery.
And that is, it's called we still fighting that slave mentality. We still fighting that slave mentality. We still scared. No matter how we pump our chest up, we still scared. Because we know our livelihoods and our very existence, no matter how we would say, is provided to us by white folks. They know we know that. We in the years that we've been here as black people, maybe less than 5% of the whole black population can employ black people. Our student employment is by white folks, by white corporate America, and we have and either we go that route or we don't work, and that's what they go by.
I mean, even though that's a fact, what's being promoted right now is more entrepreneurship from the black community.
Right.
But, as we scream that we need more black businesses, when the black businesses start in action, a lot of times the community won't give them any support.
No, because we got that fly in the buttermilk syndrome. Yeah. And the fly in the buttermilk syndrome is this: we don't feel we succeeded until we go where a whole lot of white folks at. That's what it is. We don't feel we succeeded. We like this. If it's a whole lot of black folks and we there, we ain't succeeded. But if it's less of us and more white folks, we succeeded. It's just like where you move at. They tell you as soon as you get successful, you're supposed to move out what? North. That's what they tell us. As soon as you get successful, move out north. See? Because they tell you if that's where it's at. That's where it's at. I like to say that you can't be successful where you at. No, I'm not knocking you want to move out north, but black people got to understand it's time for us to stop following and be leaders. Because how you know you have succeeded in life when that very man who you trying to follow decides he wants to follow you.
But again, what I've been told is that that success is almost being redefined, every day. I mean, it's to where you're being left alone and you're happy, you got a job,
right,
and you're content,
right.
And people from out of town who come to Fort Wayne and people who have left Fort Wayne who return periodically all say the same thing, that Fort Wayne has such content black people.
Oh yeah. I've heard the same thing. I've been in Indianapolis, in Georgia, and they said black folks in Fort Wayne don't respond we're not reactive. We're not reactive. I remember when a cop shot this young boy about a year ago, a couple of years ago, and so some young woman organized a protest. So I went. When I got there, it was me, another black dude, and 4 women. And the only way we could march was around, Lakeside Park and back to the front of City Council. No one showed up. No one showed up. We are contented in our position where we at. We don't speak up. Then when we do speak up, everybody shun you, run away from it. Say, I don't want no part of that. Because once he says something, cops start messing with him, that means in turn they're going to mess with me.
But at the same time, when you organize these protests in the 60s, now this is just maybe my own personal perspective,
Right.
But it seemed like the pastors, I'll say,
Right.
had a legitimate consciousness
Right.
about the betterment of black people.
Right.
And they came together knowing that they could be beaten,
Right.
and they were beaten,
They're right.
but they still came out.
Came out.
But today, pastors don't seem to have that same mentality, and the way that the black community is structured is still structured to a large extent to the church.
To the church. But what it is they are in the pocket pastors. They're in the pocket of downtown. There's somebody buying the dinner. Hey, it's getting kind. We heard someone on the street. It's getting kind of noise out there. Could you smooth, calm the waters? So it's in the pastor all to calm the black folks down. Saying in church, well, don't be out there. It's best to be here. God wants you in this church. God wants you between these 4 walls. See, and that calms black folks down. Because what preachers want us doing is looking up. But what black people should be doing is looking out.
But even going back to your family again, and the way that you all came together, had each other's back, looking out for each other, spiritually tightening the bonds. That seems like that's pretty much what the immigrants do when they come here.
That is. But we don't get. Well, we haven't caught a hold of that for some reason.
But we had it though, because
we had it earlier in life. But when we had it? Before integration. That's when we had it. Before integration, I hate to say it, we had it before integration. Before integration, we had stores. We had shops. We had some everything. But right time to start busting us here and there, here and there, here and there. The lifeblood of community is kids. When you take the kids from the community and pull them out every place else, the community dies.
Now, I have noticed that when you go to a funeral of a person who went to Central, let's say in the mid-60s
Right.
on back,
Right.
their funerals are huge.
Right.
Versus, let's say, blacks who die in later years, it's not the same vibe.
No, because we ain't connected. For them, everybody was connected. Everybody knew somebody, or your mama knew this other guy's mom down the street. If you did something, this lady gave you a whooping and called your mama and said, I gave him a whooping because he stepped down the street and did something supposed to do. Your mama gave you a whooping. These days, black folks ain't got that connection no more. We don't have that connection. And that's what society wanted. It wanted to pull us apart. And we voluntarily pulling ourselves apart.
We haven't stopped.
No, and we're not going to. We're not going to until we sit down and wake up and come together and start to talk to one another. We don't talk to each other.
But what I've noticed is when you suggest that very thought, that some blacks will ask, what do you dislike about white people?
Oh yeah.
When white people aren't part of that scenario.
Yeah, but see, what we do is we do bait and switch. Whenever we talk about blackness, to them it's anti-white. It has nothing to do with anti-white. It has something to do with you ironing and being proud of who and what you are. I know they celebrate. I know in Fort Wayne they have Black History Week or so and so. I get them and say, I'm a black man every day. I celebrate who I am every day, and I don't need nobody to tell me what day to celebrate it. I get in the mirror and I see black. No, and I'm not ashamed to say it. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't say that. Oh, that's controversial." Say you are an African American. See, that's more suitable. Don't say black. See, that's controversial. Black is. African American is not. It's because we say African American, you accept Americanism in you, along with the black. See, but along with it, you know what I'm saying. But as soon as you say black, no, man, it's too heavy.
Now, you know, that might be part of the problem of today, because a lot of times, if there's something that's wrong, and you're forced to suppress it,
right,
and suppress it and suppress it,
right,
it'll grow into a monster.
It will, yes, yes.
You know, versus you talking straight up about what the problems are. You get it out there on the table. I mean, a lot of people don't like to talk about race.
No.
And talk about how you suffered. I mean, I've had, in conversations talking about Native Americans, I've had blacks say to me, well, those Native Americans just had to get over it. So what, they had Fort Wayne, they couldn't control it, so they lost it. They ought to get over with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you tell those same blacks to get over slavery, you know, they don't see the parallel.
The parallel. No, they won't see the parallel. But and what's bad about that is, the system has always pitted the races against each other. See how we already didn't accept that the other race's pain, but we wanted to look at ours. See, and the context, then we helped in the American Indians' pain. Buffalo soldiers, they trained black men to kill Indians, and that's what we did. They trained black men to go in Vietnam and kill Vietnamese. That's what we did.
Well, I mean, they trained blacks to kill blacks, and they trained Indians to kill Indians.
See, and we buy into that. Because you know why? That's being an American. Anything the uppers tell you to do, you do. And then you're a proud American. If you're willing to kill somebody, you're a proud American. And that's what they tell you. But once you say being willing to kill somebody, you're not American, being proud.
When as you were growing up, you know, at the end of high school, what have you, did you go to Vietnam?
No, didn't go. Because my dad told me, Dad said, if you go, boy, I'm going to break your arm. That's what he told me. So they told me, Dad said, if you go, boy, I'm going to break your arm. I said, Dad, why? He said, did that man do anything to you? I said, no. He said, so why you going to kill him for? He did nothing to you. He had taken nothing from you. Nothing. And if you look at every war which the United States has fought today, it's fighting now. All the ones we fighting have taken nothing from us. We in Iraq, Afghanistan, them folks' backyard complain about how they shooting at us. If you in my backyard, I'm gonna shoot at you too. Climb over my fence and my yard now. See what I'm gonna do to you.
You just described early Fort Wayne history.
See?
It's no different.
It's no different. It's no different. It's no different. We fussing about something the other guy doing in his country. We done went all around and set up bases in other folks' country. We got bases in our allies' country, but we don't allow our allies to build bases here. Israel doesn't have a base here. Britain doesn't have a base here. Are we allowed to have bases in every else but country? But, oh no, you can have a base here. No. We can have one in yours. You can't have one here in us.
What was it about your father's upbringing that influenced his ideology that he carried on to you all?
He grew up in the South, sharecropping. He met mama, and him and mama married at 16 and 14 years old. And what
What state?
Alabama, and Brown Station, Alabama, and what influenced my father one day. He said what hurt him one day. He was riding a tractor, and Mama would come out and get on the tractor with Daddy. Mom got off the tractor one day, and they call him the boss man. Told Mama, if you get on that tractor with Bob again, I'm gonna beat you so hard until your ass pop like a gasoline engine. And that right there set Daddy up. That right there, Daddy no longer said he was gonna take it. He said he's taking Mama from the South. That's what he did. He said I'm taking you from the South and I'm sitting you down. He said I'm not gonna have someone talk to that way. He said I was gonna stay there and die. That's what he said. He said he's gonna stay there and die. If someone talks to her like that again.
You know, that's interesting because, you know, today there's such a strong movement towards being inclusive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, the new immigrants, everybody would come together and have a group hug.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then I asked the question, how can we be inclusive today, basically without rectifying the exclusiveness of yesterday?
Yesterday. But see, the issue is, a lot of black people want to wash over that. They don't want to. They don't want to replay that history no more. They say, oh no, we don't want to hear about this. We don't want to hear about segregation. We don't want to hear about elections. We don't hear about none of that. Everything all fine with us now. That was then. This is now. You're at now because what happened then. And it's the old saying, them who forget their history are doomed to repeat it.
I was going to say, because if you forget it, it could be that whole thing could be played on you one more time.
They're the old okie doke. You play it on you, play it on you again. Play it again. And I told these young, one day I was running, and the young boy said, Mama knew me. I said, yeah. And I said, what you doing? He said, hanging out with these guys. He said, yeah. He said, because I'm hard. What do you mean hard? I said, man, we don't take nothing from nothing. I said, well, can I ask you something? I said, do you realize the new slave ship is? He said, what? It's the prisons. I said, it's that prison bus taking you on to prison. He said, what? I said, look, y'all born with a tag on your toe and a name and a number on your chest, and you already heading to prison, and that man know it. You voluntarily going to prison. I said, if you gonna go to jail for anything, go to jail for doing something, the right thing. It's how can you go to jail doing the right thing? Martin Luther King was in jail doing the right thing. He protested, he took a stand. That's the right thing. But y'all going to jail for no reason. Y'all going to jail like prison. I mean, like a plantation, like being slaves. Where this guy, white guy, 99% of the time, gonna be a white guy with a club and a machine gun, gonna get up every morning and tell you when to squat, when to go to eat, when to take a bath, when you can play, when you can read. And y'all volunteer go that route. I said, you don't read. You don't calm yourself. You don't sit and listen. All your music is boom, 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 boom. It's loud. So you can't get nothing in your head. I said, that's where they want you at. Get nothing in your head. I said, you don't know yourself. I said, y'all killing each other because you got self-hate. Because when you can shoot a man who look like you 100 times or beat him down like he's nothing, that's self-hate. That's not self-defense. That's self-hate. You hate yourself, so you're taking it out on him because you see him in you. So what? I'm going to kill him.
You know, why has that message not resonated after all these years?
Because the parents don't tell them. The parents don't tell the kids either. Because why? The parents out there with them. The parents don't tell them. The parents don't tell the kids their history no more. Because we want to be friends with everybody.
Well, the parents may not tell their kids the history. The schools don't teach the history.
Schools don't teach it. Schools teach it. I remember when I was in McCulloch, and I love her to death. I had black teacher, Miss Stiff. Love her to death. Miss Stiff, Miss Starkey, Miss Tiller, Miss Brown. And they would have a black history. You know, back then that's all that. And they would sit us down and go through cultural things with us. You know, who did this? Who did that? Who did this? We took that in. They taught us. And Miss Starkey was painting. He would paint Benjamin Banner, Malcolm X, have posters all on the wall. So when we walk up the steps of McCulloch School to different classes, we would see all these black people who were looking at us, doing stuff, saying stuff. And it was no athlete. Because as black people, we don't need no more athletes. We got too many. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need scientists. We got too many to say, I want to get out there and play ball. It's not enough job in the NBA for all these young boys to go play basketball or in the NFL.
You know, you're seeing a whole lot there. Number one, there are no more Afro clubs.
No, because that's controversial in school. But like you said, but they got the Gay Alliance Club. But there's no African club. There's no club like that. Because what they tell us, our history is not worth acknowledging.
Wait, if there's a Gay Alliance Club, wouldn't that be the same thing as a nationalistic, black nationalism?
Oh yeah. But see, it's like this. We have to, as black people, decide where we want to go now. On what our history is going to be, what our kids' future is going to be.
And now, you know, but I understand that. But when you have a situation where there are so many blacks who are unreluctant to share their story. I mean, a lot of people have told me about when they left the South, how they almost killed somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's across the board.
Yeah.
Many stories, and but they don't want to talk about that. And there's nobody really on the scene who's aggressively championing the idea.
The cause. No. Because all of them into that flying buttermilk syndrome. Still into that flying buttermilk. They want to be only black with a whole bunch of white folks, and they have succeeded, and don't want no other blacks coming in because it makes his success less.
So how do you get the word out? I mean, you can't really do it politically.
No.
And it's not going to happen through the church.
No, it's not.
And then if you do this on your own, blacks,
your lifespan might not be too long.
it won't be too long, and plus they'll say you're crazy.
Yeah. Because I've been told that.
You know, so it seems like you have no way to escape.
Oh no. Because the thing is, if you can't help them, or not even help them, if they don't see what's wrong, then you have to do it for yourself. Have to do it for yourself. You may be the only one, but you have to do it for yourself. And that's bad to say. That's bad to say. We've been here, black folks been here over 300 some years. Recorded time. It seems like we still haven't got it together.
I mean, so many times people tell me they hate history, or they want to know anything about history. They want to know specifically black history,
right.
Because if it's not about specifically about blacks, they don't want to know it. But by just learning just what I would consider a narrow aspect of it, they don't see how it all connects.
No. But all history connects, and not it's just like my hand. All is connected. Like I said, making fists. It takes all these making fists. All history connect. It is not no one history that does not some way run to the next man's history. That does not cross. Everybody's history sooner or later crosses each other. It's not one person's history stands alone. Not one. It don't matter how white folks say it. We built this country. This country is ours. It ain't the same. It ain't. But the problem is, this country wouldn't be here if it wasn't for blacks and browns and yellow folks.
Yeah, I've spoken with a lot of professors, and they still pretty much acknowledge that there are no blacks here, or that blacks didn't predate the Indians.
Right.
You know?
Right. And what upsets me today too is this thing about illegal aliens, illegals. I said, who's illegal? Because the Hispanics' DNA is in the soil. It's here. How can someone be illegal when you took it from him and you made the border and said you can't cross it? But he was here before you was here. The Hispanics, I mean, in American, would just say, you know, Indian was here before the white man was here. They came took it from him, and now they're telling him he can't be where he was born. They say he crossed the border. He's an illegal. The United States today hasn't paid $1 for this land. Today, hasn't paid $1 for none of this land the United States occupying. Not $1. And we took it from everybody we had it. Hawaii. We didn't pay for that. We took it from King Kamehameha's daughter. Sent her in exile because she wouldn't cough it up. Took it from her. Put her in exile. And we took it from her. Hawaii.
You know, I don't know. When you just sit back and just survey the whole situation, and there's a need to stand up and not be afraid to express yourself.
Right.
Because I know it's here in Fort Wayne history that they played with it so long that the truth, nobody considers that anymore.
No, they don't. No, as long as you're saying something. They looking at the truth. As long as you're saying something, then they satisfied. And then, if it's watered down, they're satisfied. They like the watered down version than the straight version.
And let me ask you, have you had a chance to spend much time outside of Fort Wayne?
Not much, but I've been out. But I've been in Indianapolis and Georgia, and it's a lot different.
That's what I asked you about. What I'm getting at is I've been told that kind of like blacks treat each other the same way no matter where you go, but they have a better respect for you if you're not from there.
They do. And when I went to Georgia, just to visit my brother, and the guy said, "Man, you ain't from here." I said, "Well, how you know?" "Well, I can tell, but you know something, people come here. It's different. When y'all come from so and so, people y'all different." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "We can see y'all different when y'all come here." I said, "How's that?" He said, y'all carry yourself different, and y'all talk to us different." I said, "How do you mean?" He said, y'all respectful, a little bit different. I said, and don't these other black people?" He said, "No, it's different. Black folks know how other black folks treat each other. Black folks know what other regions other black folks are from. I don't know. It's simple. For some reason, us in Fort Wayne, when we get someplace else, we acknowledge that we're black. But when we're in Fort Wayne, we don't acknowledge it.
I noticed the same thing when we went to President Obama's first inauguration. Everybody had a real strong spirit going.
Yeah.
And they were talking a lot and coming back. They were strong. But the closer we got to Fort Wayne,
everybody heard it. Got quiet.
Yeah, and you hear the clicks.
Clicks, yeah.
Them putting their shackles back on their minds.
Yeah. Because see, they say a little bit of freedom is better than no freedom. See, they're satisfied with that little bit they had, and they're ready to get back, come back here, and get back in the mode again. Or not saying nothing, not responding, not doing nothing. Because if once you do that, you're gonna be targeted downtown. or these goodies the mayor or the city council might dole out ain't gonna come my way. You ain't getting nothing anyway.
You know, as you sit back and look over the whole situation here for the past 50 years, what have you, have you thought about writing a book or turning this into a movie or doing something with it?
My brother Harold is writing a book. He's writing a book about the family and certain issues in Fort Wayne. He's writing a book. He sure is doing it. He's writing a book.
Because, like I said, I noticed that whatever the issue is, that issue has roots.
Right.
You know, it has a behavioral something that happened similar to it before it happened.
Before it happened, yeah, right.
A precedence, what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does. But you know, I was telling him, I said, look, all the folks at this generation is going by the wayside, dying off. We have to leave something back for the next. See, and if we don't do that, it's lost. These young men killing each other is lost.
Well, but when you become totally lost, you will have arrived as being a full American.
That's the whole problem. And that's what it wants to be. Full Americans. Branded, labeled, are ready to sacrifice ourselves when a white man tells us to sacrifice ourselves. But we're not going to sacrifice for a cause that we choose. We're going to sacrifice ourselves for a cause that white folks tell us to.
But let me clarify that. I'm not anti-America.
No, I know.
But I notice that other ethnic groups, they're encouraged to be their ethnicity.
Ethnicity, I know, but that's a good issue. I noticed this. When, during these festivals, you have Greek Fest, maybe go on 3 days. You have German Fest, maybe go on 3 days. You have Italian Fest, go on 3 days. You know, when it comes to black folks, you know, when we had the Black Expo, where every black folks all over Pine Street, so you couldn't even walk through. Black folks enjoying themselves. You know, as time went on, the Black Expo became the Unity Day. And we had us celebrated downtown in Central's parking lot, had us fenced in. And had past Unity Day here, they had us down there, had folks down there at the safety academy where the police at. As long as we, black folks are the only folks who here can't use their name. Black Day. They had to change had to call it Unity Day. That's to make the other side feel comfortable.
Well, and plus when you mix black in with multicultural,
but
you highlight everybody, but you minimize
who you is. But what's funny when I see down at Greek Fair, I see several black people going and get a couple hot dogs, but they ain't changing the name. And German Fair, I see a couple black people going and get a keg of beer and drink, sit down and drink, but German still ain't changing the name. I see in Greek Fest, they go in there and have a box of them. That little Greek dish, a cookie or something. Go in there, they ain't have a piece of that. The Greeks ain't changing the name. They still call it what it is. Greek, German, Italian. We don't want to call it black.
Well, we'll have to, I've also noticed that when you hear what you just said there about calling ourselves black or anything about being about blacks, a lot of blacks will say, save that for February.
Well, no, like I told you before, I celebrate who I am every day. I'm a black man every day.
Tell me something. Now, you all were over on Hayden Street.
Right.
Is there something special about that quadrant, Hayden Street, to Eliza, to Hugh, to Lewis, Anthony and Hannah, so to speak?
Yeah. All there in that area were big families. And those big families know each other. Like the Lassers, Hatches, the Stevensons, Brooks, the Chapmans. See, all them families grew up, they knew each other. So that one, especially the Moores, all them houses had big families. So basically that's quality and special because it seemed like in that one area, everybody had at least, if at least 6 to 10 kids. And it's a big family, and all of them were connected because everybody knew each other, everybody played together, everybody grew up together. The Woods, everybody played, everybody knew each other. And that's why that cauldron was special. Everybody grew up, but now all the houses are gone. Folks have moved away, but Steve's still across the. I see him every day.
Mm-hmm. But what's so fascinating to me is the fact that if those families would have done what you all did and got one house and pulled that money,
pull together.
That's one way that you can control your own economic destiny.
That's it, and that's what we did. We pulled our resources. If one wanted a car, everybody decided we would help pay for it. If one wanted this, everybody decided we're gonna help pay for it. We got a mode where no one's out for just self. That's what family is about. It's not being out for self. You're out for for everybody in the family. The family unit has to out. The family unit has to grow, be strong. So that's what it was about, the family unit.
As you close down here, I gotta ask you this here. Now, are you teaching martial arts right now?
No. I wanted to open school back up, but my issue was I learned it the hard way, old school. I learned it. We learned it bare knuckles, bare feet. Get thrown on concrete, baseball stuff. Everybody today want it easy. They want. I studied Shorei Root, Chinese Okinawa. Everybody now wants Taekwondo. Nothing against Taekwondo, but Taekwondo is called the McDonald's of martial arts. Because if you get in there and you get a black belt in 3 months.
And so you know the techniques and the moves.
Yeah, right. You know the techniques and the moves, but see, martial arts really starts here. Really starts in the head. Because it has a history. We start out learning the history of the martial arts. So who started it, where it came from, where its techniques developed from, how many years it took to develop these techniques. A lot of martial arts schools don't teach the history no more. Kids come there, teach the techniques. Undisciplined. We had to stand erect, no movement. In the other karate schools, the kids running around. We didn't have that.
So it is the fact, I gotta ask you this here before you close down here, is the fact that I've seen it done before where one person's standing right here and they'll have such a strong focus that they can kind of almost go like this here and knock you down.
It's called chi, mind control. It's called chi.
But they don't touch you.
No, they don't touch you. It's called vibrating palm. The earlier masters had that skill, but no one to the present day now has that skill now.
So, in the same way that skill was lost,
right.
Those other skills that earlier Africans had in being connected, I'm not going to say this right, but being akin to drawing power from the universe.
Yeah. But see, they what happened then? See, when martial arts, they had everybody had several schools in different dynasties, and different styles would come up. Then one style would challenge the other style. They had a long time they had death matches, where people would fight to the death. Sioux style was the best. And then the Shaolin Temple had a Shaolin Temple. Shaolin Temple wouldn't deal in that. So Shaolin Temple got burned down at least 10 times. So what happened was when them masters would leave the Shaolin Temple, they would spread out among the masses. And spread out among the masses, it got watered down. And far it got watered down, the techniques got weaker. The concentration got less. So that an issue that the martial arts they kind of destroyed itself for how many people they brought into it. At first, the martial arts was exclusive. You had to really want to do it. And it wasn't just, I'm going to sign by that school. You had to really want to do it. And I got into it because I really wanted to do it.
And you never deviated all these years.
I never deviated. Never deviated. Never deviated. Still doing this today. Never asked me, ain't you kind of old? Ain't you getting older? I said, but as long as I'm walking, as long as I'm above ground, I can still do it. It's not, and they say, ain't you slowing down? I said, it has nothing to do with speed. It has to do with what's in here.
And speaking of endurance, I've seen you running all over Fort Wayne. How far can you run?
Let's see, I never say how far. I know how long. I always run 2.5 hours every night and ride my bike 2.5 hours.
Every day?
Every day. Every day. And that's how I do it. Then after that I go to home and get in the dojo and do my stretching and my techniques. That's how I do it. And I haven't deviated from it since. I first, when all my brother was home, we all would get out and run. We had students. I would take the students from my house, from Hayden, and run to Southtown Mall. That's when Southtown Mall was there. And run them back to my house.
Well, that's a lot of commitment, focus, but the long term is what's important. The commitment is what is
important. And then when I was teaching, I had parents who wanted their kids in. I had parents who would come and say, would sit in class and watch their kids. You don't have that no more. I don't have that no more. Because nowadays, if people get ready to sign, the first thing they ask, and ain't that family who was in that issue with the city a long time ago? They say, yeah, well, I don't want them going there. Because they're going to be targeted.
You know, as you look back over the many years, 30-some years basically,
Right.
About that, has that destroyed your family? Has it made it stronger? What has it done to you?
Well, as it has made me stronger, I've lost 4 brothers, passed away. And the hurtful thing is to me is that I stayed on the path, and the rest of the brothers deviated. That's what hurt me. They deviated from it.
Well, at some point in time, you all had a lot of things that you were doing was right in terms of the family structure.
Right.
And the more and more that you read about the deterioration of the black family, that's where you got to look to, is back towards people like you, like your family, because otherwise you're going to keep having more and more of what you have.
You have more deterioration. But, I talked to my brother the other day, Harold. When we talked, we had a long talk. And he said he looked at how Daddy raised us, and look at how how Mama did. He said, and look back, he said, and some things he wished he was still doing, they hadn't deviated from it. Because he believed it would be better if he had stuck with it.
Well, I appreciate this time you had spoken to us here. Like I said, I've been seeing you around town here, and I've always had those questions on my mind here. And you do hear things here in Fort Wayne, but when you hear things in Fort Wayne, you can count on it being wrong.
Being wrong. And that's 99.99% of the time.
Well,
unless you hear from the horse's mouth, don't pay no attention to it.
I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.